So Rav Dessler is telling us. I'm sorry? Don't embarrass the yeshiva. That's what Rav Dessler is telling me?
No, I'm talking to the rest of the class.
You tell to the rest of the class that they would embarrass the yeshiva? Why would they embarrass the yeshiva?
I'm saying the mic's on, be normal.
The mic's on, be normal. No. Remember, that's the wrong state. Some of their normal is embarrassing. That's why they sent him. That's why they're in yeshiva. If their normal was normal, they wouldn't be here. They're only trying to get their normal back to normal. I wouldn't worry about that.
I'm not worried.
The only person that can really cause problems is me. So, 167 watched the first year on Rav Dessler. I was surprised. Like 160 people, clicked and were watching some. I don't know that they watched the whole thing, but interesting, huh? What? Mazel tov. Okay. So Rav Dessler says that the path that Hashem communicates to us through is all of our experiences. The things that we experience with our senses, things that we are aware through our mind, our intellect. And then the question is, what do we do with those experiences? Do we use them to ascend, to grow? Or do these experiences pull us down? And then he gave 3 examples of tools that Hashem provides the Jewish people that have kind of a double-edged sword. The Torah, Eretz Yisrael, and now today we're going to deal with the third one, which we just touched upon a little bit yesterday. The third one is Yomim Noraim. And Torah is the greatest tool that there is for a person to repair himself, to grow, to push himself, to become as close to Hashem as he could. But if you don't do it with the right mindset, it could be your poison. And then Rav Dessler said, well, he was asked a very stupid question, which is then, well, isn't it better for a person than not to study Torah at all then? No. Because he would fill his head with mishigas, with nonsense. So it's better that he does his best with the Torah and not continue to live in the culture that is out there, outside the ark of the yeshiva, where the men are women and the women are men and who knows what. I don't know. I don't understand it. People are called they now. It's people who identify they. How is this going to make the world better? Sure. But that's not them bringing Mashiach. It's you, the sitting here and learning. That's what's going to bring Mashiach. That's the emes. But they're Mishigas. And then you have Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael is a tremendous tool to grow to Hashem. However, our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael, using Eretz Yisrael to go the other way. I don't want to mention cities. I don't want to mention programs, ulpans, where it's not to grow, to bring you closer to Hashem, it's to push you farther from Hashem. What happened? You get out of the jail?
No, volunteering with the animals, sorry.
I thought they told you to stay away from that sheep farm.
Ducks and dolphins.
Ducks and dolphins?
Donkeys.
Donkeys? You left yeshiva to volunteer for donkeys.
You know, it was over Shabbos, and then carried over to the American weekend Sunday.
We didn't see you since Wednesday.
I was here Thursday.
He's at Mishmar.
You went volunteering on Shabbos?
No. They have a Shabbos program.
Where?
I'll tell you all about it.
I would love to hear. I would go. I love donkeys.
It's a farm. Mali Adumi.
Wow, it's pretty cool. When I lived in Nebraska, I wanted to start a goat farm called Eskar Goats. I'm serious.
Really?
Yes. Then I started working on the numbers, and since we had to buy feed for them for the winter, I wouldn't have made money. So we like, not doing a goat
You have to have a
farm.
lot of goats.
What?
You have to have a lot of goats.
Why a lot?
Because the more goats you have, the more you can sell.
But well, you don't really make money by selling the goats. That, I'm not selling to the Satan church of Satan. They need sacrifices.
Go sell
It's-
your goats.
Yeah, for cheeses, you got to make cheeses and all that. But instead, we came to Israel. So now I raise these type of goats.
It's a they.
What?
It's a they.
So Yomim Noraim, the days that are coming, are also great tools. So they're great because they allow us to do tshuva. It's a time of year where we can focus about who we are and are we what we want to be. That's the question. Are you what is the best that you could be? If the answer is yes, good. But for most of us, if you're honest, we're not. We've got a lot of room to grow. We have to work on our midot. We have to work on ben adam lechavero, the way that we treat other people. We have to work on how we treat ourselves. A lot of people have self-destructive behaviors. And then ultimately how we treat Hashem. So these are the days. These are Yemei Adin, and we have to know how to purify ourselves. And hence we talked about vidui, this confession of sins that we do to ask Hashem for forgiveness. It has to be done with the right attitude. Because sometimes when we start thinking about our previous sins, we sort of drag ourselves into that muck. And we're like, well, it's not that bad. So, And then that defeats the whole purpose of Yomim Noraim.
Should I just go to sleep on Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah?
You have to raise your hand, I'm sorry. No. What? Yes, sir.
So should I just go to sleep on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur?
Your question is a non sequitur. It's, you haven't studied logic?
No, I'm not a philosopher.
You're not. Okay. So, non sequitur is when you make one statement and the statement that the other person makes doesn't follow from the first statement. Just, I have a story about what a non sequitur example, but I'm not going to tell you it right now. At some point, I'll fill you in.
That's before Kabbalah Shabbos.
So, your question is pouting. That is, since I have to do something in a particular way, and I don't know if I'll be able to do it, then I'll just pout and go to sleep. No, do it the way that you're supposed to do. Take it. No, there's no such thing can't. There's no such thing in Avodas Hashem can't. And I learned this from a very beautiful story. Right, so if we had like a big production company now, they would start playing music and there would be background, and then you know how they do those videos. But we don't. You just have me and that's it. You can add, I don't know that they would allow you to touch this.
I don't have to touch it, someone just send me the video clip.
I'm sure that that's what they're going to do. Is that what you do? You're into production? Wow. Kol hakavod. So the story is like this. So you write the script. I'm going to tell you the story. You think of what you would put. And maybe we could do something together. So Rav Zusha was a very sort of weak, sickly individual. And he was riding a carriage from one village to another. And it was raining, and it was very muddy, and the carriage and the horse got stuck in the mud. And so the balagula, the carriage driver, got off and was preparing to pull the horse and try to get this carriage out of the mud. And Rav Zusha felt that, if he can't really help, the least he should do is get out of the carriage so that his weight doesn't affect the whole mud situation. So he stood outside and he's, watching. And so the carriage driver, is pulling and he's trying, and then he said to him, Rav Zusha, can you give me a hand? And Rav Zusha said, I can't. And the balagula, the carriage driver, said, there's no such thing as can't. There's something that is, I don't want to. And Rav Zusha understood something very deep about his service to Hashem. That when we say I can't, it means I really don't want to. And so when you're telling me that you cannot do a vidui with intention, with proper mindset, I don't believe you. There's no such thing as can't. I didn't say it's easy. It doesn't mean that it's going to just flow. You're going to open and your tears. No. It might be difficult. It might take, but it's not something that's impossible. Kadosh Baruch Hu did not give us the Torah to show us that we can't do it. Of course we can. The question is, how much do you want it? You see those blue books over here? Those are Gemara. There's 2,711 dafs of Gemara Bavli. Can you finish Shas Bavli? The answer is, I could if I really wanted to. I just don't want to. It's a matter of what you want. There's 4,192 Mishnayos. Can you finish that? Can? Yes. Will I? No. Why? It's not my interest. I'd rather, get this 11.847 of Candy Crush. Or whatever else people are playing.
Well, we didn't hear the main part. Did you get the carriage out? Or is it still stuck?
Good. We found the new Shmuel. Shmuel, that was how when you came. That was you.
I've been relieved.
Yes, that's it. It's official
I
now.
don't think the carriage even existed. Hey, they're all written by people in jail.
Do it? Did old I forget it somewhere?
Doesn't
Or
matter.
didn't get him anywhere?
Doesn't matter.
Of course it matters.
No, it doesn't matter. Because it was a realization that with Avodas Hashem, when you're serving Hashem, what matters is your will, that you want to. It's not can't. Can you get up every day for minyan? Yes, of course you can. You just don't want to. It's not impossible. Right, Nick? Paris 2024. What are you going to do? So, what do we do? What are we supposed to do? What is the advice for us to begin the ascent, Yuda? to begin the process of growth and coming closer to Hashem. How can we place, or what should we place in front of us that we don't fall or sink lower and lower into the world of sin? One, increase your good deeds before you even come to a nisayon. Start doing more of what you're supposed to be doing, so that even if the nisayon comes, you've already are on the right path anyway. The Jewish people, when Hashem says, when Moshe Rabbeinu told them about the Torah, they said, Naseh v'nishma. What does Naseh v'nishma mean? What? We will do and we will listen. Right? What does that mean? We will first, shouldn't you listen and then do? But they said, we're doing it. Naseh, and then whatever you tell us, but we were doing it. Which means what? That they are changing the maisim. Start changing how you do what you do. We all are mechuyev of a mitzvah, a very, very important mitzvah. It's called V'ahavta l'ra'acha kamocha. You have to love your fellow Jew. Correct? You open your eyes in the morning, you see your roommate sitting on his bed. You say, good morning, with a big smile. Right? As opposed to, there are people who, in the morning when they walk around, they look like it's Tisha B'Av. I see them in the breakfast, in the dining room. See them in the morning, listen, what's going on? Do chesed with a fellow Jew. How are you doing? Ask him. Because you care. Hold the door for him. But do it. Not just like, go right ahead. Right? Same thing, you come to say a bracha to Hashem. Divide the bracha into 3 parts. Baruch atah Hashem. Elokeinu melech haolam. Right? And then whatever the bracha is. Pay attention to the words. I'm going to give you a shocking, I know none of you thought about this, shocking idea. There's no isser at all coming to either minyan or a class early. There isn't. You're not going to be stricken by lightning if you showed up 2 minutes before your Rebbe is here at 3 o'clock. Well, yes, but you have ulterior motive because you don't want to sit in front of the air conditioning because you were freezing. So you want to come early so you don't. But imagine you get that seat and you say, I'm giving it up for him.
That's why I don't come early.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so that's why you were complaining today.
Why just move to the other chair?
By the way, I sat for an hour in for half an hour in your seat while you were gone. I wanted to see it. It was great.
So should we switch it?
Maybe I thought about it, but then I would have to see the bad math on the board. We did fractions. It didn't go so well.
I'll come early and erase it.
So, Rabbi Isai, the advice that Rav Dessler is giving us in order to preempt the test, the nisayon that is coming to each and every one of us, is to do more and do what we do better with more intentionality, with more enthusiasm. Get excited about learning Gemara. For you, every daf is completely new. You have no idea what's on the other side. That's cool. There's like a whole mystery coming. Yes?
I like that we learn Gemara, like Gittin. Why don't we learn as much Agada than we learn more?
Well, we're not learning Gittin.
But I noticed like in Gittin,
This yeshiva now is not learning Gittin.
Is there Agada in Kiddushin?
We're learning Kiddushin, yes. Is there Agadita? There's Agadita in all of the Masechta. And a lot of them there's. We don't focus on Agadita because Agadita is much harder to teach. When you learn Gemara, one of the challenges you have is vocabulary, correct? In Agadita, the vocabulary increases enormously. So it becomes much, much harder. And the concepts are more difficult. And there's different shitas of how to understand Agadita. So it's much more complicated. But we're learning Kiddushin now. Maybe that'll help get things moving, huh? You learn Gittin, which means that is a sgula against not getting divorced. So you got that in your pocket. And now you're going to learn Kiddushin so that when you meet her on the train, you know what not to do. There were any girls in this donkey farm? Oh, Baruch Hashem. I was worried.
More animals than people.
That's not what I asked. Good.
Rabbi, it seems like from the Torah that a good way to get a wife was like going to war. In this parsha, talking about all the situations where they're conquering.
That was a shaila. That was a shaila at the beginning of this war that Yeshiva Bachers asked. That since the soldiers are in Gaza, and we're sitting and learning Torah, and so we are also in the battlefield, but we are learning Torah. So is it equal or not? And the question is, well, l'may nafkamina, right? What do you mean equal? So then the question was for Eshes Yeshivat Ohr. Can we take captive women? That is, soldiers can take captive women. Can the yeshiva bachers take? Because if they're equal, they should be able to. But then I said they're from Gaza. Okay. Hashem should bring peace to Eretz Yisrael, onto the Jewish people, and that Be'ezer Hashem, all the Jews and the hostages will return to their homes, and that we wouldn't have these shilas. Tov. Avodas Elul is to serve Hashem fervently, with enthusiasm. Do maisim that are giving you chizuk. Things that would strengthen your relationship with Hashem. Like what? Well, for example, I recite Tehillim in the month of Elul. I don't do that all year. Just in the month of Elul, and sometimes I keep going in Tishrei. And for this year, I also did in Kislev because of the war. I just kept going in Mar Cheshvan and Kislev. But then after that, I stopped. But you have to do more things to bring you closer to Hashem. Try to wake up 5 minutes early. Give Hashem 5 more minutes of your time. Right? How many hours are there in a day? 24. So wake up an hour early. Do maisim that create chizuk for you.
Sorry, I'm late.
I just got off a plane. I came right here. It's my first stop. Sorry, Rabbi.
He's late. This guy.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Shia. For those of you who don't know me,
What program are you in?
I'm in Athena.
Good for you. Welcome.
Yeah. This is the crew. This is the new crew for the year. Let's go, boys. It's making it happen.
Okay. Thanks for the interruption. Now in Shamayim, they're like, Gingy, what are you going to do? Right?
You already know.
So, chizuk. Find things that you can be mischazek. Things that you can take on that would bring you closer to Hashem. Now don't bring up the singing in the showers that really helps you connect to Hashem. No, we're not doing that again. Baruch Hashem, that ended. No?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What?
Why should it end?
Because when you sing songs with psukim in a place where people are naked,
Now it's Suki. Now it's Suki.
we already talked about this. The din of bet merchatz, you can't, when you're not sanua, you shouldn't be. Singing Baruch Hashem Baruch, and the guy next to you go, I don't want calls, man. I don't want calls. Look, the guys are out of control. Chizuk in a good way. Okay, so Elul, we can take on things that are not in our madrega, things that are a little higher above our spiritual ability. We get special siyata d'ishmaya on this month to go a little higher. This is the shield that will protect you when a nisayon is going to come to you. You will be tested. There are nisyonot all the time. But if you are mechazik yourself with maisim toivim, with mitzvahs, with more learning, you will see that you will have a special protection and shield to allow you to continue your growth. A lot of times what causes you problems is because you're not doing anything. You're just laying on bed in your room, bored. And so, pull out your phone. And you say, I wonder how many videos Rabbi Matalon has. Oh, let's try to find Rabbi Matalon at the beach. Ooh, there's the beach. That's not a kosher beach. Wait, maybe we can find, oh, that's not. And now you're in trouble. And usually, when a guy is bored and he finds something that's interesting and he's enjoying himself, he brings others. Hey, what are you doing? You're like, yeah, let's go. What one thing guys love doing in yeshiva is hanging out. Dude, come to our room, just hang out. Sit in the bed, chat, talk, listen to some music. Little lashon hara, right? A little bit of cursing. Then pull out a l'chaim. What? A mezainis. Then somebody lights those funny cigarettes that you guys like to smoke. Next slide. Next slide, wait. I haven't moved in yet.
Well, it sounds like you're talking about a bunch of hippies, but...
Wait a second. Wait a second. Do you do that?
No.
No, you don't do what? You just got here.
Foot smells funny. Not
The kiddish. That's because of the cow manure.
Oh, is that what that smell is?
Okay, good to know. But Rabbi say, the point is when you have free time, not doing anything, there are times where you need to zone. I get it. You learn, you had 3 hours, you were pushing yourself, you need a break, you're just laying in bed or whatever it is, listening to some music, playing maybe a video game for half an hour, fine. But don't let it turn into 3 hours, 4 hours. What's wrong?
Maybe thought about an old moment.
An old moment? Like yesterday? No. Even pay attention to your time. The Chavetz Chaim gave us an amazing image of of time. That each and every one of us is born with a bag of diamonds. And the bag has a hole on the bottom. And every minute passes away, you lose one diamond and you can never get it back. So yeah, we cannot sit and learn 12 hours straight. Because that's not who we are. Okay. And we need a little break sometimes and we need to go. Great, okay. But utilize the time that you have during the day to do things that are productive. Chesed. Work on your own midot. Obviously do what the yeshiva requires, which is why we're here, to learn Torah, to review what you're learning, but also learn other things. If you have a couple of hours, then okay, and you don't want to learn Torah, okay. So pick up a hobby. How to take care of a donkey. Right? If the Mashiach comes and he needs a donkey, he knows where to take him. Do they have a white donkey over there? What? Didn't you say you're on a donkey farm?
No, there was donkeys on the farm, just a couple. It was like a donkey farm. How many do you need? It's not a lot of land.
Wow. What animals did they have on this farm?
Couple ducks.
Ducks?
Geese, donkeys, and a lot of dogs. Some goats and sheep.
So,
Sheep, not even goats.
no cows?
We need a lot of like water for cows. So it's kind of like a little desert.
What about a camel?
Expensive. Usually the Alvin have camels more.
So, that's out. I thought it was donkey farm. Not a donkey, that would be like.
The white donkeys are very expensive.
Yeah? So, the purpose of these days is to be searching for opportunities, litchazek, to strengthen our relationship with Hashem. For example, there's something that's very, very powerful, is when you sit with a chavrusa, first 15 minutes, only learn Torah. No speaking, no chit-chat, no nothing. Just sit and learn. Just imagine in Chazara that you sit, for the first 15 minutes, there's no jokes, no getting water, no. Just we're sitting 15 minutes and we're only learning. We're not distracting. We're not paying, we're not going to tell stories. We're not, what are we doing? What is this? What about hoodie? What about klub? Take that you're more mindful of what you're doing. I have one too. Thank you. ברוך אתה אדינו מלך בורא נפשות שבראת לך ברוך העולמים. Tov. We are not going to change ourselves completely if we were all the way on the left and become great tzaddikim overnight. But we have the month of Elul to work on it. So I encourage you to take on something. If you want to discuss what you should take on, we could do that privately. We're not doing that publicly. But that's something that you should think about. And it has to be reasonable. And like you say, I'm going to grow a beard like down to here. No, it's not going to happen.
It's coming along a little bit.
It's coming along. This is coming along, and he shaved Friday. It has to be something that is you can accomplish. And that's the idea that we can have to come to our court date on Rosh Hashanah with something in our hand. To say, Hashem, I took on something, I'm working on it, I'm growing, That's how you can use the month of Elul as growth. So, now comes a very difficult topic that I think that's what Yirmiyah had in mind. What is the value of doing something externally on the outside without the true awareness that I really want to serve Hashem? That's essentially what you're asking me. That okay, so if I can't do a vidui the way that I'm supposed to, because it's something external, right? Rav Naftali Miruvshitz was one of the Hasidic masters, saw somebody doing vidui, and he says, keep knocking, there's nobody home. It wasn't a joke, it was a very serious, that is, you have to understand what this means. This act is not just, that's not it. And we're not Shiites. But there has to be behind it some intention and ratzon. But what if it's not there yet? Right? We all daven 3 times a day. And not every time we daven in front of Hashem, we are fully like Shayas in the shower, you know?
Only Goyish music in the shower.
That's what he's listening to?
No, I'm singing.
He's singing Goyish?
Yeah, I'm not going to sing Jewish music in the shower.
Good. All right, gentlemen, it's time for Michtav.